Radio Free Tatooine presents Galactic War Report, a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast.
Boshuda, fellow Holotable Hustlers, you're tuned into Galactic War Report, a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast that's better than some and worse than others. I'm Sean, a.k.a. the other Sean, and there's no one here at my Thanksgiving Holotable for me to make fun of or to interact with. John is out this week. As I'm recording this, it's Thanksgiving Day here in the United States. And the thing is, see, I'm a vegetarian. So my Thanksgiving dinner is a tofurkey. If you're not familiar with a tofurkey, it's a turkey made out of tofu. And it just looks like a little football that you put in the oven. And you're done. That's it. He, on the other hand, is actually cooking a Thanksgiving turkey, which takes effort. Which is just not a typical John thing, effort. But he's working very hard on that, and I'm just hiding from the family. They're out for a walk right now, so I'm gonna just rip through this episode, and hopefully the chaos won't actually catch me. We usually record very late at night. This is like a midday thing, so the timing's all off, but we're getting you an episode because some stuff happened this week. We had our 5-year anniversary in Galaxy of Heroes. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about also some things to do as more people are unlocking these galactic legends, maybe their second galactic legend. What do you do now? What's the next step when you find yourself having kind of completed some big goals in the game? And anyone can use this stuff. My cat is also about. She's normally locked out of here, but she's about right now. So if you hear some loud purring, it's because she won't get off my desk. That's Pandora for you. Good girl. Yeah. So first, before we get into any of that, let's take a look at some upcoming in-game events, courtesy of swgohevents.com. For a list of past, present, and future events in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, there is no better resource on the web than swgohevents.com. As we record this, it's the 26th. We just had the anniversary fun. The next week is, I don't want to say meaningless, but like nothing lives up to that. That was awesome. So as we're recording on Thanksgiving, we've got an Omega battle in Home 1. Yeehaw, right? Thanksgiving in the United States. So also happy Thanksgiving, everyone who celebrates. If you don't, or if you're in a different country, just happy time. Happy fall. On the 27th, so as this releases, we'll be doing a Imperial Retaliation or Separatist Might territory battle, so that's good. That's the fun one. Dark side, yay! For big hulking strong guilds like us, that's much more fun. Also, we have Navarro Galactic Challenge. Get your IG 11 shards, 30 more of them if you complete the first 4 tiers. So that's worth doing for sure. And then Rebel Roundup also on the 27th. Saturday, the 28th, we've got an Omega Battle Imperial Fleet, as well as contraband cargo. 29th brings us General's Command to get your finalizer in shape. Defense of Dathomir as well. And then on the 30th, we're looking at a Smuggler's Run and a Places of Power. Finally back into the assault battles. My cat is literally just walking into the microphone. I love you so much. Then on the 2nd, we'll have a Military Might and Ghosts of Dathomir on the 3rd. One thing I will also point out is I believe it's on the 3rd or the 4th. It might be the 4th. We've got a what is it called? The event to get your 10 Radis shards or blueprints. Sorry, the lingo. And for me, that's going to put me at 95. So we've got another one popping on the 21st. So it looks like I get a 7-star Radis for Christmas. That's kind of fun. Longtime listeners may recall, I quit the game back in like 2020. It seems like 10 years. So I don't know how long ago it was. January, maybe? December? I don't know. So I might have missed. It's possible I missed one there, but like people are going to start getting their Radis and finalizers completed. So could we have some good ships to go with them, please? They're fun kits. They're both fun kits, but they're both so bad. They don't have teams that work with them. We're due. We're finishing them. We're due. Make it happen. It's just such a shame. It's such a shame. So much potential. Okay, so what happened this week? On the 25th, the big anniversary update. We got a ton of stuff, and part of that stuff was connection issues. Now, I think I got booted one time, and then the rest of my day was pretty A-okay. But a lot of people were having a very hard time logging in, just getting an error saying there was a problem with your connection, kind of like when you cut out a Wi-Fi or something like that. That got resolved pretty quickly, so that's awesome. The actual anniversary goodies, it was nice this year. We got the 20 Zeta mats. That's kind of something I was expecting, right? We got that last year, and that's, I don't know, I guess maybe a little less exciting this year because I knew it was coming. And I don't know what to do with this Zeta. I've got 2 of them built now, and I'm not a guy who sits on Zetas. But I guess I have it, so that's neat. I thought maybe when I got 2 of them built up, I might just drop them both on Mon Mothma. But yeah, I don't know. The other thing we got, though, we got some good relic stuff in it. So that's like incredibly helpful. Very, very helpful. I'm looking for the actual list. I pulled up the wrong thing. There it is. So the actual list of stuff, you got the 20 Zeta mats and 10 Omegas, some credits, 500,000 credits, especially for newer players. That's awesome. That's huge. A lot of this stuff for newer players is massive. Some good gear, some Wampa shards. We got 5 Wampa shards and 5 Hermit Yoda shards. I know those are in more high demand now that a lot of guilds aren't playing those Hoth territory battles. So that's definitely nice, as well as Radis blueprints and Finalizer blueprints. Again, speed that up. That's incredible. If only they were good ships. Clone Wars Chewie shards. You knew that had to be part of it, too. 3 Clone Wars Chewie shards, always appreciated. And then just a ton of pieces for not just gear, but that signal data and mod salvage and all that kind of stuff. So 90 carbonite circuit board, 75 bronze wiring, 15 chromium transistors, plenty of actual signal data too. It was a good little pack. I definitely enjoyed that. It was enough with just a little spending of energy or whatever. I think I had to grind just a couple signal data afterwards for me to get my General Skywalker up to Relic 6. So that's cool, helpful. He's such a beast already at 5. So at 6, I am more than happy, and I'm well on my way to 7. He's just a fantastic character to get to Relic 7. So that was like the big in-game thing this week, right? Besides that, what else do we have? We have some packs And I think it's worth kind of looking at these. So they advertised in the forum post that they also had this Galactic Zeta bundle. And I just find the name of Galactic Zeta bundle odd as something that contains 3 Zeta mats. Not Zeta mats for 3 Zetas, but 3 Zeta mats. That's okay. And 10 Omegas. That's fine, right? The other stuff though is worth really digging into to see if this thing's worth it. It's $50 here in the US, so it's a sizable investment, right? Sure, I appreciate 3 Zeta mats, but that's not getting $50. So what else do we have? We've got 7 Electrium conductors. You may not know the name, but you know Electrium conductors. It's, for me, probably the most hated grind in the game. That thing that you have to give up all the gear that you love and need to get any of. And you have to get 70 of it, I believe, to get to gear 7 or relic 7 from 6. It's so painful. You don't start needing it until you're going from 5 to 6 and 6 to 7. Oh, it's painful. So that's a thing, right? But even that, I think it's like 800 or 900 crystals worth of Electrium conductors. All right. You get 5 Zinbittle cards. That's the highest relic salvage bit that I don't think you need any going to 6. I think that's only for going to relic 7. That's not too bad for me. People with more relic 7 characters may kind of have exhausted their resources a little more. I've only taken the characters that you need for Galactic Legends to relic 7 and just a couple outside of that. And that's only after chasing 2 Galactic Legends, which I'm sure to some listeners will sound ridiculous. But, you know, that's not as painful as those Electrium conductors. I hate it. So there's some decent gear in there, 10 and 15 of this and that. So overall, my analysis on it, it's an okay deal. It's not mandatory. Is it worth it? Sure. It's not like one of those flash sales where they drop them on, I think usually Mondays, where it's just guaranteed you're going to get a ridiculous amount of Chirotech for $5 or $10 or something like that. It's okay. Outside of that, the kind of unadvertised thing that they're selling that I find very interesting is the Anniversary Character Trove pack for 5,000 crystals, which is a lot for sure. You get 330 shards of someone, just a full unlock of a character, and they're all in there, right? I mean, outside of Hero's Journey or Galactic Legends or something like that. But, any marquee or other just kind of basic character is in there. Even new ones. Like, I was looking at it and, Grief Karga? I could just get 330 shards of Grief Karga? That would be awesome. Just awesome. So, I think that's a really interesting thing. It is 5,000 crystals, though. So, who's it for? It's for newer players who want to jump in and take some chances, right? You could pull Lobot. That could happen. You're not going to be happy about that, but at least that's out of the way. For long-term players, it's way too risky. No. 5,000 crystals can be spent so much smarter than that. But for those early I've spent some money here. I don't mind dropping a bit and see, what if? What if you get some amazing character at 330 shards? So it's interesting. It's not for me. It's definitely a walk on the wild side. but it's interesting. The other one to point out also is there's that $9.99 IG-11 pack in there because he's still the Galactic Challenge featured character. We had him last weekend. We get him again this weekend. And that's 30 shards for $10. That's not something they have done much of in the past until Queel. So I think that one is definitely worth it, especially if you're going after IG-11. I know a lot of people are excited about him. He's a really powerful character, as is Queel. So that's the new packs. I think there's some interesting stuff in there and some stuff that's, also terrifying. Now, I want to talk for a moment about what to do in downtime. We got the holidays coming up, or here in some cases. And like I said, there's more and more people unlocking their second Galactic Legend. And as I sit on the precipice of having Jedi Master Luke, or at least starting the grind of tickets, I kind of find myself with, after having gone through this whole Galactic Legend thing twice, what do I do now? There's been so much asked of me these last few months, and now it's just down to a couple final grinds. And sure, getting the tickets is going to take some work, but that's stuff that kind of builds up as you're doing other things. So what are those other things? Well, there's a few projects I've been considering and kind of moving toward. And one great resource that I've seen for this, and we're going to dovetail a couple segments together here, I guess, but one great resource that I use is swgoh.gg. There's so much data on this site, and we talk about it all the time, right? But there really is some useful information here. Not just meta report and your Grand Arena Championship reports and that kind of stuff. But so one thing that I have done is when you log in and you look at the top bar, there's units, right? That's kind of where you default to. Along the left on the desktop version, that's what I'm going to be referencing. It's all accessible on a phone as well, or tablet. I like to take a look at some of the Relic player data and the Gear 13 player data. And we haven't really talked about that this much, or that much on this show. I've got my that's and this is backwards. The reason this is kind of useful is it can kind of help you identify holes in your roster and some opportunities for you to, if you have a minute to breathe, who might be most effective to gear up. And there's a bit of disconnect here with correlation and causation, because what this is going to show you is Gear 13 player data shows who are basically the most popular characters to take to Gear 13. There are no characters that have a higher percentage of Gear 13. Like if you have this character, you move it to Gear 13, right? That's going to be Jedi Master Luke, Rey, Jedi Knight Luke, Sith Eternal. So your Galactic Legends and your Jedi Knight Luke, right? But you can kind of sort this by the Gear 13 count also. Everybody's got a Gear 13 General Kenobi. If you have General Kenobi at 7 stars and he's not Gear 13, you look at that and you think, why does everyone do that and I haven't? And that's an obvious one, right? But as you kind of compare your roster as a longtime player, I compare my roster and I scroll down until I see one that I don't have at Gear 13. And I think, all right. So for me right now, the highest one up there is Rex. I don't have a Gear 13 Rex. And I'm open to that, right? And this is a thing that I've kind of done recently. I identified a few things. everyone's roster is different. So this isn't necessarily the highest one that you don't have is who you should work on. That just means that's who a lot of people have at Gear 13. But like Rex doesn't make any sense to do if you don't also have other strong clones and or General Skywalker, that kind of stuff. So I'm looking at it as like Rex is, he's going to be my next Gear 13. But I also recognize that that's kind of meaningless if I'm not willing to focus on Echo and ARC Trooper. So, you kind of have to take each point of this into consideration. So just for example, the most common Gear 13s are going to be General Kenobi with 161,000 Gear 13 General Kenobis. Then it drops to 150,000 with Jedi Knight Revan, then Darth Revan, Darth Vader, Grandmaster Yoda, Jedi Knight Anakin, and you're seeing that these are not all the Galactic Legends, because this considers a bigger player pool of whether you have a Galactic Legend or not. It makes sense to relic your Darth Vader, because he's amazing. He also happens to be a requirement for a Galactic Legend. But some of these others, like Padme, makes sense. She's amazing. She's not a Galactic Legend requirement. But, if you kind of look at this list and say that a lot of people have a Gear 13 General Kenobi and a Gear 13 Grandmaster Yoda and a Gear 13 Jedi Knight Anakin, well, Padme totally fits, right? And so does Ahsoka, who is just a little further down the list. Or General Grievous, some of these make a lot of sense because he can kind of carry a team, and he's a little bit plug and play. So anyways, take a look at this, kind of come up with a few characters that you may have just kind of overlooked. Like, great, you've got a Gear 12 Jolie Bindo. It might be nice to have him at Relic. It might be good to take him to Gear 13. And my personal goal, I don't take anyone to Gear 13 and leave them there. I always take them at least to Relic 3. It's just a benchmark that I made up myself. It's not based on much data outside of it's pretty easy to get to Relic 3. There's not a huge mod salvage requirement to get there, and also not a huge requirement for signal data. You may have to wait a couple days on signal data if you're not refreshing. That's it. So that's been kind of something I've been working on. Now, another thing here is the Relic player data. The reason I mention this is it shows by Relic level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Kind of the same idea. Like, how many Relic 7 General Kenobis are there? Out of all those Gear 13 General Kenobis, I said there was 161,000. Well, 52,000 of those are Relic 7. The only more popular Relic 7 character would be Jedi Knight Anakin. And this gives a good kind of breakdown of, like, here's, the other side of that. If you have a moment to yourself, or if you just want to slot one character into your Relic progression as you're working on these Galactic Legends, and you may finish one and dive right into the next one, and that's fine too. But if you just want to see, man, going to Relic 7 is not fun, but if I really want to have an impact on this game, what are other people doing? And I like sorting by the Relic 7 tier. And it shows, for me, for instance, Jedi Knight Anakin's the most popular. Got it. General Kenobi is after that. Got it. It drops down considerably. No, I'm sorry. No, it doesn't right there. I'm looking at the wrong column. Right after that is General Skywalker. And I think I use him in Arena. I have him at Relic 5. Let's do this. I need him to hit as hard as possible. Let's take him to 7. So I'm working on that. After that is General Grievous. I have him at Relic 5. I don't know. That's a little bit of a bigger ask. But like I said, you can kind of pick and choose on these. Jedi Training Rey right after that. Already got it. After that, Kylo Ren Unmasked. I just took him to Relic. I got him up to Relic 3. I don't know that I need to take him to 7 because I'm not working toward that Galactic Legend right now, you know? So you can kind of go down the list and see this, you know, relics are much harder than getting to Gear 13 in many cases. Relic 7 is, at any rate. So this is not something that most players are going to, well, I guess I'll get these 5 characters to Relic 7. No, that's too big of an ask, right? But if you want to just, for funsies, slot somebody in, it's a pretty good list. There's some good data here. Instead of, you know, well, I mean, I know we always say play this game the way you want to play it, but if you love Dengar, that's great. Buy a Dengar action figure. Don't Relic 7 your Dengar unless, man, you got a lot of other Relic 7s. So that's it. That's my strategy chunk for the show. I hope that's helpful. It's something I've been doing, and I'm enjoying it a lot because I kind of find myself at this bottleneck where all I need for Jedi Master Luke is to finish Chewie and 3PO, Mon Mothma, and Rebel Y-Wing. That's it. And I'm real close on those, but like I can't gear or relic those characters. And yes, I could stock up and build the gear that I will need for them when I get them to 7 stars, but that's not me. I'm not that calculated. I like to move the bar every day a little bit, right? So that's my holiday sage-like advice. It's not sage-like at all. It's just what I'm doing. So let's take, while I'm on swgoh.gg, let's take a quick look at the meta report, the part of the show where we look at trending characters and squads that top players are using to help you see where to put your resources for the best ROI. Kind of continuing the theme of swgoh.gg. Data is pulled weekly from our friends over there, and let's take a look at what we've got. Current meta. Sorry, I would have this prepped, but I'm already on the site and, you know, goofing around other places. So the very top is, you're still going to be seeing a lot of Galactic Legends up there. A lot, right? So leaders, we are looking at 28% are using Supreme Leader Kylo, 25% are using Jedi Knight Revan. That Jedi Knight Revan team contains Jedi Master Luke, so keep that in mind. Rey is pulling about 20%. 11% are Jedi Master Luke Skywalker leads, and it drops quite a bit after that, with 4% being Sith Eternal Emperor, 4% Darth Revan, 3% General Skywalker, and I mean it gets real sketchy after that. So those are some pretty big numbers for the tippy top characters there. The squads that people are using, I mentioned Jedi Knight Revan. That seems to be the squad people choose for Jedi Master Luke. Now, Jedi Master Luke as a leader is usually going to be General Skywalker, Hermit Yoda, Jedi Knight Luke, and Jedi Revan, right? Now, when Jedi Revan is in the leader slot, most folks are dropping, not all, but most, are dropping Hermit Yoda in favor of Wat Tambor. Because let me tell you, using Wat to constantly be building healing Jedi Master Luke is just, it's the worst. I go up against it all the time, and I just, like, you just beat on Luke all match, and he heals more than you can hurt. So hence the attraction to having a Relic 7 General Skywalker. I really want to be able to deal with that. And at the current moment, I can't. So it's pretty powerful stuff. Now, as far as the movement that we're seeing here, we are seeing a little movement, and it's mostly just like anti-Rey. The meta history over the last 7 days only has small percentage changes, but it's kind of interesting. At the top, you see the percentage change is only a 1% change, positive, for Bastila Fallen, Wat Tambor, Kylo Unmasked, Grandmaster Yoda, Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker, Jedi Knight Revan, Jedi Master Luke Skywalker, and Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. All characters that are very, very good in the current meta. So no huge surprises there, and they're all small percentage changes. But when we scroll down to who's losing, it's General Kenobi. Losing 1% is General Kenobi, Bastila Shan, Fives, and Hux. Okay, that's only 1%, right? But then 4% drop for Rey. That's sad. That's my galactic legend. She's falling. So, yeah, I mean, more people are finding that kind of balance between Jedi Master Luke and Jedi Knight Revan, and when to use which lead, and like I said, swapping in Hermit Yoda or Wat for different matchups. And I think Rey's fallen by the wayside just a little bit. Supreme Leader, or Sith Eternal Emperor is it's a good lead. I think out of the Galactic Legends, it's the worst, in my opinion. Is it the least popular also? Yes, it is. I mean, it's annoying when he sets up the kills correctly, but it's overall a pretty manageable battle. And that's from the perspective of someone who has Rey. I haven't tried it with anyone else, but it's not ridiculous to try and beat. So, finally, I'm going to go upstairs and cook me a tofurkey. And I live in Michigan. Oh, they're vacuuming. The kids are determined to put up a Christmas tree today on Thanksgiving. I don't know what's happening anymore. But as I'm about to head out and think about what I'm thankful for and eat some delicious tofurkey, and as I was about to say, I live in Michigan, so we're doing green bean casserole because you have to do green bean casserole here. But I got to get started on that in a minute. But before that, let me just shed some light on who I'm grinding on this holiday. On deck is Hux, Big Red, and Ranger Rick Trooper. Because those are now double drops permanently. Oh my goodness, the other big thing that we didn't even talk about. Double drops for 4 days? That's awesome. I woke up this morning and very quickly got 14 shards for Chewie and 3PO. Heck yeah, that's incredible. I love it. And it's not like this day and that the other day. No, it's just double drops throughout. It's great. So I'll be working on them soon. Right now for characters, I'm finishing Mon Mothma and the old backpack Chewie, and I'm getting real close. I'm at 75 out of 85 for Mon Mothma, but I'm 13 out of 100 for Chewie, meaning I finally hit 6 stars on that. So home stretch for Chewie, getting there. Besides that, I am gearing up my Rex and my Echo and Jolie. I see the benefit of a stronger Jolie. I just lost a Grand Arena match today because of my subpar Gear 12 Jolie. So that's coming. For relics, I'm getting General Skywalker up to 7. He's at 6 right now. It's just all that I need is that awful Electrium conductor. I have 0 out of 20, and I don't even want to look at it. It's not good. For ships, Rebel Y-Wings at 47 out of 85, so moving in the right direction. Not in a big rush on that. Just we'll get it when we get it. And then I think Hyena and Vulture I should probably do. I use them both a lot, and I'm usually successful, but why not? I mean, why not give them some stars? My most recent Zeta, I don't remember. Shakti, maybe, still, I think. But I guess I'm hoarding them for Jedi Master Luke. It seems... I don't know if it's early. I don't do the numbers on these things. It seems silly to start now, but at the same time, man, it's 6 Zetas. It's been a minute since I had to drop 6 Zetas on someone, so I just want to have them ready instead of spending frivolously on Mon Mothma like I very well could do tonight. We'll see. Grumpy Old Luke, like I said, almost done with it now. I mean, Mon Mothma, Backpack Chewie, Rebel Y-Wing, that's all. Nice thing about that Y-Wing is I'm gearing up my Grief, too, as it goes. So Grief and Mando, kind of fun, turns out, on a bounty hunter squad. And I had some decent success using that in the last weekend's Galactic Challenge. So I'll try it again this weekend. Under a... Is it Mando lead? Jango lead. I don't know. I played with it for a while before I actually found how to do it. But it wasn't a Bosk lead that I used in the end, which was crazy. Yeah, it was. It was Jango lead with Boba Fett, Mando, Bosk, and Grief. And that got me through most of the tiers. The top, I think, took me through 5. 6 and 7 I just couldn't do. I mean, my Grief's gear 8. So the fact that I could even do that was surprising to me. But fun characters, so I like it. And yeah. So, the other thing that I recently took up to gear 13 was, I told you I did HK-47, right? And I also did Kylo Ren Unmasked. As someone that, as I was looking at it, I was like, I don't need to take him to 7, but yeah, I'll put him in Relics. He's a good character. My Grand Arena, I am winning today's Grand Arena because my opponent has 11 attempts on my First Order trio of Kylo Ren Unmasked, OG Kylo, and First Order Stormtrooper. The other 2 are gear 12, and he took out Stormtrooper, but the 2 Kylos stand there after 11 battles just doing fine. And, you know, when someone has 11 attempts, they're scraping the bottom of they're throwing Jawas at it pretty soon, you know? So that was really refreshing. It usually doesn't, it seems like anyways, it usually doesn't work out that way, but that's like instant gratification. I just did that a couple days ago. I took him up to Relic 3. And my first time using him at that in a Grand Arena Championship, he literally won me the Grand Arena. I didn't do a full clear. I just did enough. And unless that 12th attempt is the charm, there's a couple hours left to go. I will have won. So congratulations, Kylo Ren Unmasked. See, this advice that I'm giving you, it could be useful. Possibly. That's all we've got for you this week. It may not be the best advice, but at least we didn't recommend taking your Dengar to Relic 7. Galactic War Report is brought to you by our Patreon supporters. Learn how to become one and get access to our Discord server at patreon.com/Galactic War Report. As always, big thanks go out to our Sandcrawler level supporters, CT1980, Devin Doctorman, John T. Placenik Jr., and swgoh.gg. If you like what you hear, please consider showing your support with a rating and or review through your podcast medium of choice. Thanks for tuning in, and may the Force and RNG be with you.